one of Hollywood's most beloved directors and his wife, found dead in their mansion. And what investigators just revealed will leave you speechless. This isn't just another celebrity tragedy. This is a story that shows how even the most successful families can hide unimaginable pain behind closed doors. Rob Reiner, the man who gave us The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me, and A Few Good Men, was found dead alongside his wife, Michele Singer Reiner, in their Brentwood home on Sunday, December 14th, 2025. Rob was 78 years old, Michele was 68, and what started as a shocking discovery has now turned into one of the most heartbreaking stories Hollywood has ever seen. According to TMZ's exclusive report, 2 bodies were discovered at the Reiners' Brentwood mansion around 3:30 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. Law enforcement sources confirmed that both Rob and Michele suffered injuries consistent with a violent attack, and the LAPD's Robbery-Homicide Division immediately took over the investigation. First responders arrived at the scene after receiving a call for backup, and what they found inside would send shockwaves through the entertainment industry. But before we get to what really happened, let me tell you who Rob Reiner was, because his legacy goes far beyond just being a famous director. Rob was the son of legendary comedian Carl Reiner, who passed away in 2020, and he started his career in show business as a comedy writer back in the 1960s. He worked as Steve Martin, as writing partner on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour in 1968 and 69, but most people knew him first from television. Throughout the 1970s, Rob starred as Michael Stivic, better known as Meathead, on the groundbreaking sitcom All in the Family. He won 2 Primetime Emmy Awards for that role, appearing in all 205 episodes before the show ended in 1979. When All in the Family wrapped, Rob shifted his focus to directing, and that's where he truly became a legend. His first major success came with the rock mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap in 1984, a film that's still quoted and referenced today. Then came the golden era of Rob Reiner's directing career. Stand By Me in 1986, a coming-of-age story that still makes grown adults cry. The Princess Bride in 1987, which became one of the most quotable films of all time. When Harry Met Sally in 1989, which redefined romantic comedies. Misery in 1990, based on Stephen King's novel. A Few Good Men in 1992, which gave us the iconic line, "You can't handle the truth." These weren't just movies. These were cultural touchstones that defined a generation of cinema. But here's where the story gets really interesting, and this is something most people don't know. While directing When Harry Met Sally in the late 1980s, Rob Reiner met Michele Singer, a talented photographer working on set. The chemistry between them was immediate and undeniable. They fell in love and married in 1989, but their relationship did something incredible. Originally, the ending of When Harry Met Sally was completely different. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan's characters weren't supposed to end up together. Rob had been divorced from director Penny Marshall and was pretty cynical about love at that point. But meeting Michele changed everything. His newfound love convinced him that true romance was real, that it was worth believing in, that happy endings actually existed. So he completely rewrote the ending of the film to give Harry and Sally their fairy tale conclusion. Think about that for a moment. One of the most beloved romantic comedies of all time, a film that's inspired countless couples and defined what we think love should look like, exists in its current form because Rob Reiner fell in love with Michele Singer. Their love story literally changed cinema history. They spent more than 35 years together, building what seemed like a perfect life. They had 3 children together, Jake, Nick, and Romy. Rob also had a daughter named Tracy from his first marriage to Penny Marshall. The family lived in their beautiful Brentwood mansion, and by all outward appearances, they had everything anyone could want: success, wealth, love, family, legacy. Rob continued directing throughout their marriage, creating films like The American President, The Bucket List, and earlier this year, Spinal Tap 2: The End Continues. According to his IMDb page, he had one more project in post-production, live concert footage of the fictional band Spinal Tap performing at Stonehenge with other major musical acts, set to release next year. Younger audiences might recognize Rob from his role as Jess as Father Bob on the hit show New Girl, or his appearance in Season 4 of The Bear as businessman Albert Schnurr. He was also known for being politically outspoken, regularly sharing his views on social media about current events and controversial issues. But behind the success, behind the Hollywood glamour, behind the happy family photos, there was a struggle that most people never saw. And this is where the story takes its most devastating turn. Now here's where this story takes a turn that nobody saw coming, and I need to be very clear about something. According to sources cited by People magazine, investigators are looking into whether their son, Nick Reiner, may have been involved in their deaths. But nothing has been confirmed, and no official charges have been filed. Nick, who is 32 years old, has long spoken publicly about his battle with substance abuse and periods of being homeless, despite his family's wealth and willingness to help him. In a 2016 interview, Nick revealed that he had entered rehab for the first time around his 15th birthday, and by 2016, he had completed more than a dozen stays in rehabilitation facilities. Let that sink in. More than a dozen rehab stays. This was a young man who had been fighting demons for nearly half his life. Nick recalled being homeless in Maine, New Jersey, and Texas, explaining that his homelessness wasn't because his family abandoned him, but because he chose not to return to the rehab programs his parents kept trying to get him into. He was running from help, running from structure, running from something inside himself that he couldn't escape. In 2015, Nick co-wrote a semi-autobiographical film called Being Charlie with Matt Ellishoffen, and his father Rob directed it. The film told the story of a young man struggling with addiction, and it was clearly drawn from Nick's own experiences. At the time of the film's release, Nick told People magazine that he had been home for a long time and had gotten acclimated back to being in Los Angeles and around his family. There was hope. There was healing. Or at least, that's what everyone wanted to believe. But addiction is a monster that doesn't let go easily, and according to sources speaking to various media outlets, something may have gone horribly, tragically wrong in that Brentwood mansion on that Sunday afternoon in December 2025. And here's the most heartbreaking detail of all. The couple's bodies were discovered by their daughter, Romy Reiner. Imagine that. Imagine being Romy, walking into your family home and finding your parents dead amid allegations that remain unconfirmed by authorities. The psychological trauma of that moment is almost impossible to comprehend. While the LAPD has not officially named anyone as a suspect, sources tell People magazine that Nick is alive and being questioned by investigators. But again, no charges have been filed, and the investigation is still ongoing. The investigation is ongoing, and more details will likely emerge in the coming days and weeks. But right now, we need to be careful not to jump to conclusions. This tragedy raises so many questions about mental health, addiction, family dynamics, and what really happened in that home. Rob and Michele clearly tried everything to help their son. They sent him to rehab more than a dozen times. They supported him financially. They gave him opportunities, including collaborating on a film together. They never gave up on him. But sometimes, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much love you give, no matter how many times you try, things can go wrong in ways we never expect. This isn't just a story about a famous director and his wife being killed. This is a story about a family dealing with unimaginable tragedy, and we need to let the investigation run its course before we make any judgments. It's a reminder that behind every mansion in Beverly Hills, behind every red carpet smile, behind every Hollywood success story, there can be pain and struggle that the public never sees. Rob Reiner gave us some of cinema's most beautiful moments. He showed us the power of friendship in Stand By Me. He gave us the magic and wonder of The Princess Bride. He convinced us that true love exists in When Harry Met Sally. He showed us the meaning of integrity and honor in A Few Good Men. But what we do know is that he couldn't prevent this tragedy from happening, and sources suggest his son may be connected to what occurred, though nothing has been proven or confirmed by authorities. Rest in peace, Rob and Michele Reiner. Your art will live forever, even as your family grapples with this unimaginable tragedy. If you want to stay updated on this developing story and hear more detailed breakdowns of true crime and Hollywood tragedies like this, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a comment below sharing your favorite Rob Reiner film, and let's remember his legacy together. Share this video to spread awareness about this heartbreaking case, and remember that behind every headline, there's a real family suffering in ways we can barely imagine. Subscribe for more in-depth coverage of stories that matter.